The Ada Slim Show. Let's go.
Yeah, so you were telling me about your plans for Nigeria.
Oh yes, like I want to establish a wellness center where you can come and check yourself, and take care of whatever little problems. It doesn't like start like a big problem all of a sudden. It starts, your numbers get out of whack, you're a little tired, you can't see straight, When we check that out, we tell you what to do to correct the situation before it gets out of hand. I think that if we had something like that in Nigeria and encourage Nigerians to like have a culture of checking your system, taking care of your system, it will really help. And making healthy lifestyle choices, Gaining weight and being overweight is not evidence of good living.
Yeah, because that's what we think in Nigeria.
No,
when you look big, that means you're rich.
No, it's not. Your blood pressure goes up, hypertension, you start having liver issues, it affects your sight, diabetes creeps in, stroke creeps in, all kinds of, And then when I hear that children die, it breaks my heart.
That's the one that bothers me. When kids die and when mothers die during childbirth, these things, they break my heart too.
Look at the celebrity. I used to love to watch her because I thought she was really, really special.
Who was that?
Goldie. Oh, Lord. Her feeling, she wore her heart on her sleeve. Whatever she felt she said, she was just so electric,
Keeping it real and
it's just sad to see her go like that, Look at that green.
Actually good.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, because some of these lives could be saved if we had good medical system.
Absolutely. And you don't have to wait till it's too late. Having like a stroke, you could have like an embolism where there's a blockage in your brain and blood is not supplied there, and you feel like you have the worst headache of your life. Before you know it, you're out. Before you get there, your blood pressure will be rising. You're gonna be feeling some kind of dizziness every now and then. Go check it out. Do something about it. Check it out, And then I heard she was on a long journey. That is the time when blood clots will form in your legs. That's why it's always advised, stand up, walk around in the cabin. Do some exercises. Don't just sit in one spot, At that pressure.
Yeah, I think she was just unfortunate because some people don't do that and they still survive.
It's sad.
And Regina, your value has really changed. I mean, I'm not saying that you didn't have good values, but I'm just saying that from 10 years ago when I last saw you in Enugu, you've totally changed.
Thank you.
You're not talking about, caring so much about human beings, caring about health, caring about, young kids, the old, and a lot. What caused that? Is it being a mom or being a wife or moving to New York that changed everything about you?
I think it's a little bit of all. When you suddenly have a responsibility of caring for somebody else apart from you, you got to get it together. You got to get it together at some level. You have to bring responsibility. You have to bring vigilance. You have to bring, everything to make sure that this little life that's in your hands gets all he or she needs. That was one. But I got by the first one because I was in Nigeria, so I could hire people to do it.
Yeah.
And then I came to an environment where it had to be me for me, right? Much as I would have loved to hire people, I looked at myself and said, look, this is your child. The mate didn't have this baby. This is your child. Give some of you to this child. Be there for this child, And that's what I did, and I'm really happy that even if I wanted to cut corners, this society made sure that I was the mother of my children.
Okay, so
when you take your children for doctors' wellness checkups, they'll be asking you questions. If you're going to call the maid, what happened? That maid should be keeping those children then, because you don't seem to be in a position to take care of those, children.
So being a mom, it kind of made you to think more about all the dying kids back home in Africa?
The dying kids back home in Africa, is for a long time, it was just always me. I had everything as a child boy, My parents made sure I had everything. When you talk about, when I was in Africa, in Nigeria, you tell me about dying kids, I wasn't in that environment. I never saw stuff like that, So
Yeah.
you were either out of your rockers or something, But when I got here, the only picture they have of Africa is children crawling in the dirt. Where did they see these children that I didn't see them all the time I was in Africa?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because when we're out of Africa, we get to know more about Africa.
But isn't that sad? Isn't that strange that we could live so opulently in the midst of such suffering?
Now we don't even know about
And
it.
we don't know, So when I came out here and they showed children crawling in the dirt and they say these children are from Africa and they actually show videos.
Yeah,
It's
real thing.
So it's real, it's for real.
Yeah.
So I started questioning myself. You have been really, really lucky. In what way are you going to reach out and touch that? Okay, I want to be truthful with you because I have one leg here and one leg.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Okay.
having more legs,
A presence.
having more presence.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
In Nigeria than you do right now. Because
Absolutely. My
Tisa
children will
and
be grown.
Rudy are still very young, so
Absolutely, I will definitely have a greater presence in Nigeria, Abuja, hopefully, because that's central. Everybody can come there. With the clinic to do palliative care for HIV patients, to do wellness checkups so that people can take care of themselves. In whatever way I can help.
So do you miss the celebratious life you had back home?
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
surprised to hear that.
I've been there, done that. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I've had it all. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
What surprises me is you're bending over a patient, taking care of somebody. Excuse me, are you Regina Askia? So this is to show you that, far and wide.
Because you haven't changed much. It's basically
That
the same.
time was, it had its time. Time for being recognized, time for fame, time for
And there's time
celebrating.
for everything.
Yeah, that season has come and gone. This is me refocused on something else that hopefully will grow me as a person, a quality person.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that you are still very relevant back home. If you were not, you wouldn't be here in this TV show. No, I'm serious about that. And your name is still a
Lord.
huge household name back home. Whenever
Thank
you say
you.
Regina Askia, I mean that, Tisa. When I said it, I mean it. Wherever you say
Thank
Regina
you.
Askia back home, no one is going to say, who is that? Unless that person is your age.
Uh-huh.
But if you are my age and 10 years younger, trust me, everyone knows the name Regina Askia. And
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you've gone from that celebrity, which you are still till today, but doing that and still being so relevant in people's lives and in hospitals and changing lives and touching lives. Imagine someone very old and dying and Regina Askia is there. to take care of. No, imagine
Not
that.
just me,
That's
I'm part of a team. I'm part of
the
a
team, but we are
blessed
talking about
team.
Nigerians and Regina Askia right now,
Oh, okay.
because the
Okay.
team might have other people,
Okay.
who we don't know.
Absolutely.
But I am talking as a Nigerian and walk into a hospital, you're very sick, you're dying, and your nurse is Regina Askia. Honestly, you will get well
Oh,
soon.
my
You don't even
goodness.
need any injections to get
Uh-huh.
well.
The Ada Slim Show. Let's go.